at the same time, I think there are other ways also when we can get engaged into some creative, constructive activities. We can take part in, we can associate with people, we can be more socialized, we can visit the places of choice, and we can culture some kind of creative hobbies or creative activities. So that might help a lot. And the focus is more on, say, the competence, the confidence, the connections, connecting with people, even our building our character, some ethos, some value system inside. Even achievement brings happiness. So focusing more on achieving things in life, and of course the control mechanism, how to control ourselves in the turbulent situation. So that also matters a lot. I think these things will lead to more coping skills, more coping power in the individual, in the child, and that way resilience can be developed a lot.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful explanation. And let's take this discussion further. And I would like to ask Brother Morris here. Sir, how can the entire school community be involved in building hope and enhancing resilience among the students of a school? Would you like to highlight certain points on this?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to just check and see, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Wonderful. Okay. So basically what I will do is I'll just give a, in very short, what the school can do and what is the culture the school needs to adopt to make sure that children are trained to be resilient and give them a sense of hope. So the entire school has to move forward. So can I have the first slide? If you look at the first slide, first of all, if you look at the slide over there, you will see I've written the respectful relationships. So school is a place where it's a learning center. First of all, it's a learning center. It's also a community hub. What I mean by that is, it's not only the students and the teachers. You have the parents, you have the neighbors, you have the larger community around the school, the caregivers, the caretakers, the entire staff, also the neighbors, the neighborhood concept. So the community hub, and also the workplace. School is a workplace where the teachers are working, the staff is working. So all the entirety, the whole school should be conscientized to make sure that everybody is built, everybody's trained to develop resilience, because the stress and the pressure affects everybody. And it's like a snowball effect. If it affects a principal, it'll go down the line. If it affects a teacher, that it goes down the line. If the student is disturbed in the class, it affects everybody. Therefore, the entire school has to be trained to be resilient. So how do we do that? Everybody should be treated with respect. Everybody should be valued, and everybody should be treated equally. Let's move to the next slide. And for that, in order to create that, the school needs to develop a positive behavior support system. Now, this takes time to develop. So the principal and the leadership team, they have to sit down and work out a positive behavior support system and set down what are the do's and the don'ts, what are the sanctions, what can be allowed, what cannot be allowed, what kind of positive discipline approach should be used rather than using a punishment model, to develop a system whereby your child feels safe. And therefore, to improve from this positive behavior support system, to improve the social, emotional, behavioral, and the academic outcomes in a child. And how do we do that? You'll see it over there. I have written, first of all, the primary prevention of bullying and the stressful conditions and low esteem. So the first thing we have to do is make sure we prevent these things happening in children, among children. Okay. Second, you have to make sure you identify the students with additional needs, especially, let's say, children with single parent, let's say, who have problems at home, who have parents who are alcoholic, with poverty, below poverty line, those type of situations where child goes through unnecessary stress and all that. We have to deal with those children, even learning difficulties. Okay, so we need to address that. Thirdly, we need to have specialized system for students with intensive needs. Okay, intensive needs, who have special needs children, who might have autism, who might have learning difficulties. So we need to have these systems in place. In other words, we need to have special educators. We might have to have counselors. These are very, very important people in the school. So that's what the first question I'm addressing, a first question mark. Okay, right?
Okay. Sir, please highlight the various components of the entire school approach to doing this.
Right. Okay. So if I have the next slide, please, you will see over there, schools can enhance hope and build resilience at 3 levels. First level is the organizational level. Okay. Second is a pedagogical level. And the third is a relational level. So let's take the organizational level. So we go to the next slide. At an organizational level, schools have to foster a friendly, respectful, and inclusive environment. Everybody should be treated the same, equally. Next, school should implement a positive approach to behavior management. Now, what I mean by that is, school should have a very positive ways of dealing with disruptive children. Not really punitive, not punishment. You could have a system called the restorative justice system. It's a very powerful system I came across somewhere, and we are using it in our school. Okay, if anybody wants to know about it, you can always contact us. We will let you know. It's not in this. I can't talk about it in this forum. It's called the Restorative Justice Program to deal with children with disruptive behavior. Then we need to establish proactive policies addressing the well-being and then inclusion. Schools need to provide opportunities for student participation and leadership, like the concept of student council, having regular meetings at all levels. You can have the junior student council, you have the middle school council, and you can have the senior school student council, where they meet every month, let's say, and bring their problems to the fore, and they themselves address the issue rather than coming down from the principal, So that is a wonderful way of getting the children to take responsibility for their lives. And lastly, the foster strong partnership with students, parents, carers, community, and service providers. So all should be working together. That is what I'm trying to emphasize. There should be a great spirit of family. Everybody works together for the welfare. So that's at the organizational level. At the pedagogical level, next slide, please. At the pedagogical level, schools explicitly teach social and emotional learning skills. Very important. So like life skills and value education should be part of the curriculum. This is where they learn these skills. Next, we need to provide a comprehensive well-being education program. Again, it comes from these books that you use and the training that we constantly give our teachers, update them when it comes to value education and life skills, how to impart these things. So that's a very important component. And the third One is to explicitly develop personal and social capabilities. How do we do that? To give the children an opportunity to perform on stage, debates, quiz competition, organize programs for inter-school programs where the children take initiative. Okay, so that helps them. Next, we come to the third level. This is the relational level. At a relational level, schools have high but achievable expectations for student learning and behavior. The expectations are high, but realistic. Next, schools should promote positive and supportive teacher-student relationships and peer-peer relationships. Next, schools use positive approaches to manage student behavior, including fostering a range of strategies to prevent and respond to bullying. This is what I was talking about, to come up with a behavior support system. And finally, the schools notice and intervene when students experience problems related to learning or well-being. So that is my general thing. To answer Ma'am's question, Ma'am Tanvi's question. In conclusion, just want to share this, the last slide. We can help students overcome difficulties and challenges and help them grow, thrive, and flourish and face challenges together. Everybody is in it together. And this can be achieved by compassion and working together and respecting and valuing each and every individual. So that's all I want to share. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Your conclusion said it all. So thank you for explaining it so beautifully. And let's understand the everyday use of resilience from Babita ma'am. Ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Tanvi ma'am. Before we understand this, I would like to just ask everyone that how do actually people deal with the difficult events that change their lives? Like different events can be anything. It can be death of their loved ones, or due to the lockdown, you were not able to attend a meeting or an interview. Because of that, you lost your job, or any serious illness of your loved ones. Or it can be a terrorist attack. Or we can make it in a simpler term, which is related to our students. Perhaps it can be a very small scale based, like sudden power cut. Suppose we are in a meeting and there is a sudden power cut, or breaking down of your phone when you are giving exam. That time suddenly your phone gets broken and you are not able to attempt your exams. Because these all are the experience, and these all are the different examples of the challenging life experiences. See, many people react to such situation in a flood of strong emotion. They will have a very sense of uncertainty, because they will have a very strong emotion coming out. But we all call this as a panic. But some of the people, generally few people, what they do is, after over a period of time, they just adapt. They just know how to deal with this difficult situation. And what enables them to do this? Some people are able to do it as the time passes, but some are not. But what do we think how they are able to do it? This is all about resilience. These are all small examples which we all are dealing in day-to-day life, and that's how the resilience work. Resilience isn't about solving a very big problem at a time. It's about facing the multiple problems day to day coming, and you have to bounce back. You have to move forward. You can't be stopping yourself by doing so. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am, any inspirational example you would like to share with our viewers regarding resilience for the kids?
Yeah, sure. When it comes to resilience, it's one of my favorite story during my school days, and in fact now also each and every child must have heard it. It's a story of Helen Keller. She was totally normal child when she was born, but at the age of 19 months she lost two of her important senses, and she became more violent. Any child, like any child at that tender age, if they are not able to communicate or they are not able to express their emotions, she was not able to express her emotions, she was not able to understand others emotions, so she became violent day by day, and things became worse and worse. But children, there is always a solution. From this story we learn that there is always a solution. And in case of Helen, Miss Selwyn came into the picture and she tried helping her out. She taught her how to communicate, how to take out her emotions, and how to work on it. But after doing all these, now she is an inspiration. She is one of the most prominent author and activist and a motivational speaker in our during her times. In past 50 years, you will not get a single story like her more inspiring. She is very inspiring at that time also and now also. So basically, she was very much resilient. So we need to learn from her. Now, children, you need to see what you can achieve from this story. It's not about that you have to be giving up. You have to keep on working on your skills. Keller had more difficulties in her lifetime than any of us can imagine, but she found out a way. Perhaps she was more confident about herself. She was being content rather being tough. Being content or being more resilient doesn't mean that कि आपके पास कुछ करने के लिए नहीं है और आप नहीं कर पाओगे. It is like आपको जो भी करना है, आपको first अपने ऊपर विश्वास होना चाहिए. You need to believe in yourself that yes, I can do it. And you have to keep on working on it. Never give it on yourself. Like Kabir ji also told one doha in the same way to generate hope in you all. माया मरी न मन मरा, मर मर गए शरीर, आशा तृष्णा न मरी, कह गए दास कबीर. It means आपका शरीर भी मर जाता है, शरीर भी रह जाता है, but your hope and these things never dies. So keep on having your hope on yourself, never give up.
Okay. Ma'am, that's a beautiful doha you shared with us. And Helen Keller, she is a perfect example of inspiration, motivation, and she's everything we can learn from. So I would like to ask you here that how can children acquire more resilience in their respective lives?
Yeah. Before answering to this question, that how can we achieve resilience, or what are the different ways by which we can be more resilient, I would like to tell our viewers that failure is an important part of our growth and developing resilience. That means that it's not about that failure will not come in your way. It will keep on coming. If you are working, if you are studying, and the different stages of your life, at different parts of your life, the failure will keep on coming. But that doesn't mean that you have to give up. Every failure is giving you a chance to again try it out. हर failure से आपको एक मौका मिल रहा है. You are getting a chance. That means you have to try again more harder way. That shows that you have to keep on working on it. You have to be more resilient. Your resilience grows as you fail and get back. Every time you get back, you are more resilient. Now I will be getting back to your answer, ways to develop more resilience. Like you have to make different communication. Your communication is your family member, your friends, these are your closed group. You have to develop a closed group which will help you out. They will motivate you. You have to avoid seeing the crisis in insurmounted problems. That means you never give up. Keep on working hard. Accept the changes is a part of your living. You need to understand when you are working towards your in your next stage of your life, this is a part. It will keep on changing. Things will keep on coming, but you should be knowing your goal and you have to keep on working hard over it. Never give up. You have to move towards your goal. Take a decisive action. Means you have to, if something you have decided that this I have to do, but that is not working out. So don't stuck there. Move on to the next thing. Take another decision. which is going to affect you. And then move on. Look for the opportunities for self-discovery. That means you have to first understand yourself, what portion you are good at. You have to discover yourself. There are people who are good in certain part, there are people who are good in another part. So you have to first see what you are good at it and then start working towards it. Make a positive view of yourself. If suppose you have started doing one work and you have got a failure, then again you tried that exam and again you were not able to pass that SSB exam or any entrance exam. So that doesn't mean that you have to give up on it. You have to be having a very positive view of yourself. Again, try again, move on, and stay flexible. Okay, not this time, so next time I'll try in another way. Okay, this way is not working, so I need to try in another way. Resilience involves maintaining flexible and balance in your life as you deal with stressful circumstances and traumatic events. This happens in several ways. It's not about one way. जब आप, as already Dr. Subhash told and Brother Solomon told, there are different ways, at different stages you will find it, and you have to keep on working. You need to take care of yourself and you need to keep on working. Never lose hope. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. All right. So let's ask a few questions to Mishtu, ma'am. So, ma'am, can you tell us that what exactly emotional resilience is and how to build emotional resilience in the children?
Yes, of course. First of all, like how Subhas sir and Solomon brother has told about the resilience, as resilience is the ability to bounce back from a difficult situation, and emotional resilience is like one's ability to adapt such a stressful situation or the challenges which might we have getting suddenly. We are not aware of that, but suddenly some kind of situation, stressful situation or difficulties comes in our life, and how we are dealing with it, what are the techniques we are adopting and all, and how actually we are dealing with such situation. And this is the main thing about the emotional resilience. And before going to that, I would like to tell a story, a real life hero story. As we all know, General Ian Cardozo, who was an army officer, commander actually, during the 1971 India-Pakistan war. That time, during the war, he lost his leg, one of his limb. And that time in Indian army, some rules and regulations was there, like the person who lose a limb cannot command the troops. And later he was he has got his position as a staff officer. He was told you will be as a staff officer in Indian army, but it was not granted from his side. So many challenges he has accepted to be as a commander at that time, and he has proved himself more and more time to be a commander, because it was not possible for the other officers also to give him the position which he was before losing his limb. But he has to prove to be there in this situation, and because of that, he's can we think a person who lose his limb, and there are the full story if we read about him, he has cutted his limb by himself. उन्होंने खुद अपने पैर को काटा जो अफेक्टेड हो गया था ड्यूरिंग द वॉर, एंड हाउ मच mental stability he has, we just can't even imagine. And this is called the resilience, to be in that position to prove yourself, not feeling fear during the difficulty time, and you have to be there to reach your goal, what you have set for you, what you want to be. To be there in that situation, emotional resilience is the most important part. If you are aware of yourself, your strength, your weakness, and you are flexible. You are flexible to do such things, and if you have confidence in you, if you are strong enough, and you can be in that position, and you have to be strong as emotionally. And these are all about the person who are like adolescent or the adult people. And what about the kids? As they doesn't don't understand what is resilience, the word is new for them, and maybe they have never heard the word resilience. So for them, the role of a parents and teacher and other elderly person whom the a child is around, the role of there is very important. And for that, to build up their emotional resilience in kids or in the children, parents can take some steps like spend quality time with the children, and give students time to do their work by themselves, as it's a duty for the teacher to give the students enough time to solve their problem by themselves, to trust them, to give them the opportunity. And some other things like not to acknowledge their own mistakes. Like if I'm a teacher, I have done any mistake, I have to accept it in front of the student. It gives more motivation to the child, that he or she can understand that teacher has accepted his fault, and I can also accept my fault. And that's the opportunity we are giving to the child to express his feelings, his or her feelings, and the child get motivated by the teacher. And it's very important. And whenever the child may be not able to getting the prize in the in such a competition or any kind of examination, he is not able to clear it, but we have to give our support to the child. As a parents, as a teacher, it's our duty to encourage the child to do more work, and that will help the child to get boost up, to build emotional resilience, emotionally strong. The child will become strong to get such a motivational thing, and to get the support from the teacher, from the parents, as the children don't understand their emotions such a way how the adult or an adolescent can understand. So these are the ways. And to as a parents, it's our duty also to see if the child is doing or working in a positive way, or thinking positive or not. And the child is following good food routine. He has to eat healthy foods, he have to be strong emotionally and mentally and physically. Then only everything will work together, as all these things are interrelated with one another. If the child is physically fit, and then only he will be able to participate in exam and other activities, and it will be, and he or she will be emotionally strong also. If he is not able to participate in such kind of exam or anything, he or she won't feel confidence in him. So the role of the parents here to build up the emotional resilience in children is very important.
Okay.
Over to you, ma'am.
Ma'am, our topic is building hope and resilience in the children. So let's also discuss that how hope, resilience, and well-being are related to each other.
Yes, as hope as a positive outlook, like it's like a goal that I want to be there, I want to reach there. This is the hope. But if we talk about the resilience, is the uncertainty which a person deal with his, and with his hard work and strength and strong determination, he can reach to that goal. And if we talk about the well-being and resilience, it's like well-being and resilience are the vital to developing efficient problem solving skills, building and maintaining interpersonal relationships, and realistic goal setting, and all of which greatly enhance an individual's ability to perform and contribute meaningfully in their daily life. As Brother Solomon has told, the children who belong to the single parents, they must be feeling they're emotional, they're not that much emotionally strong as we can think in their family. There is a lacking of parents involvement. So for those kind of children, if as a parent, as a teacher, we support them in the school, we encourage those students in the school, and we can give hope to the child, then that you can reach to your goal in your future. And for that you have to show your ability, you have to think creatively, you have to do your hard work, and you have to increase your inner strength, you have to understand yourself, your strength, your weakness, what you have to deal with. So these are few things which are actually interrelated with one another, and we should give hope to the child. For that, that student has to deal with that difficult situation through his or her resilience power.
Okay. Ma'am, how do we get to know that when to focus on well-being and resilience?
Actually, it's there are few situations when we have to focus on well-being and resilience, like when life transitions, like changes, such as starting a new school, as Babita ma'am has also told few minutes back, that a student's situation varies sometimes. So during a new and entrance in a school, a new entry, new admission, that time a student is not aware of a new school, or there's many things goes on in his or her mind. And if that time he doesn't get that kind of support from the management committee or from the teacher or the principal, that time it hampers their emotional uh, situation actually. So that's one of the situations, like life changes situations, like must be losing a family member, or a loving parents, or a breakup of a family. We nowadays we can see the parents are getting separated, and it affects the most in the child. He or she must be seeing or understanding that their parents are getting separated. It affects a lot in a child. So that time we have to focus on well-being as elderly person. If the grandparents are there, if other family members can support the child, and emotional support is very much important that time. If the student, if the child is emotionally strong, then he or she will be able to deal any kind of situation in his or her life. So this is very important to take care of the child in that kind of situations, like breakdown of a relationship, or as getting separation, or losing a family member, or a diagnosis of any kind of mental disorder of his parents maybe, or himself, or the child, about the child, or any other person who or he is around it actually. But this kind of situation, a child needs to focus on well-being and resilience actually. Over to you, ma'am.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am, for these points. And taking your point further, like you said, that it's important for us to understand our inner selves, our strengths, our weaknesses. So from this point only, I would like to ask Satpal sir. Sir, would you like to tell us that how can we build our inner strength for resilience?
All right. Am I audible, ma'am, first?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So, you see, we all know for a fact that life is made up of ups and downs, So 1 minute we enjoy a moment of peace, and the next we find ourselves facing a challenging situation that we were not quite ready for. So life's always like that. So that's how life unfolds us in that manner, and there's little we can do to control the uncontrollable. So the only option left is to discover the inner strength. We need to develop resilience in the face of adversity, as pointed out by brother over there and by Dr. Roy and Babitaji. So the only option left is to discover the inner strength. We need to develop resilience in the face of adversity and achieve personal growth. And this is what we would like to inculcate in our students. See, our school vision itself, it starts with lines: to strive for excellence by deeds, not words. See, this is a reflection of hope and resilience, that we strive for excellence by deeds, not words. And we at school, apart from academics, offer our students certain co-curricular activities that definitely contribute towards the building of inner strength. Now, co-curricular activities facilitate the development of various domains of mind and personality, such as intellectual development, emotional development, social development, moral development, and aesthetic development. See, creativity, enthusiasm, energetic approach, and positive thinking are some of the facets of personality development and the outcomes of extracurricular activities. Now, what I would like to give you some examples and types of co-curricular activities that we offer our students to help build their inner strengths, hence teaching them to be resilient, and others too can follow suit. At school, see, sports is of priority for us. Sports, art and craft, music, drama, debate and discussion, story writing, essay writing, recitation, write-ups for the school magazine, songs, dance, flower show, origami. That is for our viewers, the Japanese art of folding paper into decorative shapes and figures. So that is also, our boys do it pretty well. So school decoration, fancy dress, preparation of chart and models, photography, clay modeling, organizing events like sports. See, these are our students do that. Organizing events like sports, carnival, Edmundian fest, celebration of festivals, and so on. You see, all such co-curricular activities help build the inner strengths, which result in being a resilient person. So what is inner strength anyway? See, people perceive in a different manner. For some, inner strength might sound like one of those new age concepts that you can't quite distill into a strict definition. It's something that everybody sees to know a bit about, but nobody can offer a complete and unifying explanation. Some associate inner strength with spiritual discovery, while others believe it's mostly about motivation and inner drive. But if we were to take a more palpable approach, inner strength refers to a set of talents and skills that allows you to survive and thrive in your environment. It also involves a particular mindset that drives us to pursue growth, innovation, and excellence. But to further, to develop the inner strength, first we must take the time to get to know ourselves better, to understand our aspirations, values, limits, and personal goals. In a way, building inner strength is a journey of self-discovery and self-growth, a path towards a better version of ourselves. So if I have to tell you exactly how we can head towards building inner strength for our teachers and students, so we have to practice self-awareness. The first point over there. Self-awareness represents the first step in building inner strength by taking the time to discover your talents, skills, weaknesses, limits and aspirations, you will gain a better understanding of yourself. Then the second point I would like to say is listen to your body. See, there are times when your body communicates with your mind. Okay, that there are times when your body communicates what your mind can't really express. So when we are under a lot of stress or going through a rough patch, many of us tend to overlook the psychological signs that might point towards a problem that needs immediate fixing. So did you know that your body and mind share a close link? In other words, what goes in our head echoes throughout our entire body and vice versa. So whenever, say if we are feeling unwell, so we take a moment to listen to our body. Perhaps that uncomfortable sensation in our body is not of physical, but psychological nature. Maybe the reason why we can't get enough sleep is an internal conflict that begs for resolution. And for that, we need a strong will and determination. The next, we have to discover our talents. What is the one thing that you believe you're good at? So if I recall what Roger Federer had said once, when you are good at something, make that everything. See, we can recall by saying that practice makes a man perfect. So this statement matters for our students. When you're good at something, make that everything. So something that you enjoy doing, something that generates exciting results, unlike skills, talents, involves an inborn biological component. It involves that. So however, you still need to refine them by engaging in activities that allow you to exercise your talents. Now, the best way to discover your talents is by recollecting your childhood years. What were the things that you enjoyed doing? How did you see as a kid and spend your days? In what activities did you perform at your best? And most importantly, is there a way to put those talents to good use and improve the quality of your current life? So all these questions are of prime importance from the student's point of view. And next, what we should do is invest in our skills. Okay, that is, invest in your skills. So aside from the talents you are born with, you will also need to invest in your abilities, building inner strength as much about investing in personal growth as it is about self-exploration and self-discovery. So in broad lines, a skill refers to your ability to do something well or above average. So it's about striving to excel in a given area of expertise and aiming for great results. And the next point that will help us being resilient is that spend time with like-minded people. So as we mentioned before, inner strength requires a growth-oriented mindset that helps one cultivate innovation and excellence. And what better way to nurture this kind of mentality if not by spending time with like-minded people? If you wish to build inner strength, you need to hang out with people who appreciate you for who you are, but not, and also at the same time, push you to overcome self-imposed limits and reinvest yourself constantly. So people with whom you can share ideas and exchange valuable feedback are the ones who will support you in the challenging process of building inner strength. So when I'm talking about like-minded people, mainly for our students, I'm primarily talking about our school principal, teachers, and parents. Yes, we can add friends and siblings too. So now, since collectively we are the stakeholders and we all need to get into the role of being like-minded for our children or students, it will definitely help them to build their inner strength and become resilient. And next important point that I would say is we should open ourselves to new experiences. So we have to encourage our students to open themselves towards new experiences. Since inner strength involves mental resilience and flexibility, perhaps it's the time to exercise these valuable traits. And the best way to do this is by getting our students involved in new activities and giving them the freedom to experiment and learn from diversity. So the students might feel a bit uncomfortable at the first. Okay, they might be not very comfortable with that. But as teachers, we should bear in mind that new experiences build resilience and creativity, which are the two crucial aspects of inner strength. And the last point that is coming to our mind over there is one should be patient. So one of the most important aspects to consider when building one's inner strength is patience. Growth doesn't happen overnight. We need to instill in our students that they need to invest in this goal on a daily basis and take advantage of each learning opportunity life throws down their path. We might not feel the positive effects just today or tomorrow, but rest assured knowing that as long as one sticks to this path, good things are bound to happen. So building your inner strength is probably the smartest investment one can make. So that's all for now about building inner strength for becoming a resilient person. Thank you.
Okay. So I must say that your school students are really lucky to have a coordinator like you. So you mentioned that being patient is one of the things, very important things. And you also mentioned that inner strength is important. But can we say that understanding the inner strength, along with understanding the inner strength, we also need to understand our inner weaknesses because they're interlinked. So
Very true.
How important is it to even understand our weaknesses?
It is very important because one person who wants to practice how to become patient. See, when we're standing in a queue, we don't have the patience. We just want to carry on. We want to overtake. If you're in traffic jam, we want to overtake. So we have to know our inner weaknesses also. And this is being impatient is one of our weaknesses that I'm pointing out. So all your weaknesses, if you understand, definitely, ma'am, you're telling me the right thing, that weaknesses at the same time have the same weightage as your strengths, definitely.
Okay. So like you said, that impatience is one of the things. But in this challenging world where we are fighting with COVID-19, it's been 2 years, almost 2 years. So people are becoming more and more impatient due to various reasons. And we don't see more resilient people. So how can they control themselves or become more patient with themselves as well as with others in the society?
Right. You see, we live in a time where everything can change at an accelerated pace. No protocol exists for a time like this. No wisdom upon which to rely or a set course to follow. If ever there was a time when we should show patience, it would be now, right? After all, we have never done this before, and we can't expect to get it right the first time. Sadly, too many of us do the exact opposite. We hold ourselves and others to unrealistic standards. We beat ourselves up for not doing it well enough, criticize ourselves for lagging behind too long, and expect not to feel natural human emotions. So patience is that natural power we have within ourselves to wait for something without getting angry or upset. So the longer we must wait, however, the more patience escapes us. So in our changing world today, it's no wonder that our patience is being tested. We are still waiting for answers to questions like, when can we resume usual activity? As you just pointed out, ma'am, regarding the COVID situation past 2 years. So what will school look like next year? Or how long the schools need to provide online education? And who is responsible for the learning gaps of the students? So all these questions come there, and they all need resilience in today's era. So in our changing world today, we could all use a little more patience with ourselves, our world around us, and with others. Now, this lack of patience blocks change because we deny ourselves support and knock ourselves down. So this leads to a lack of motivation to keep trying. And we end up stopping before we have really ever started. Now, again, getting back to what ma'am you just told me about the COVID situation, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed education forever. Now, teachers worldwide had to adapt to change. Now, it was not easy to switch over to e-learning, whereby teaching is undertaken remotely and on digital platforms. Not easy. So teachers, the future is hybrid teaching. When I'm talking about hybrid teaching, it's a combination of offline and online. So we all need to patiently adapt ourselves to the change, and we have to be the change. Now I'll just talk about some. I shall talk about some tips that will help us to be more patient. So we should focus on progress, not perfection. So think for a moment how you would talk to a child when learning something new. You would likely offer this child encouragement and support while passing off mistakes and errors, because this is how kids learn and grow. So why would you speak to yourself any differently? You wouldn't blame a child if they didn't get it right the first time or get frustrated along the way. Even as adults, we never outgrow the need for gentle, supportive guidance. So we should focus on progress of our students and what they learn, rather than beating them up for not doing it right and aren't far enough along. So the next tip, I would say, it's we should practice. So like anything else, learning to garner patience with ourselves takes practice. Now, research shows that waiting makes us happier in the long run. Now, give yourself the opportunity of time to earn your reward and resist the urge for immediate gratification. So to put it to practice, we teachers can tell a student to, in practice, we can tell our student, allow someone to go in front of you in line at the post office, bank, or at school. Or really listen to someone else's opinion without interrupting them and before you respond. See, these are ways of inculcating how to become patient. Watch half a movie one night and the other half the next night. Next one I can say is wait a few moments to begin eating when you sit down for a meal. So as you practice, you will begin to gain more patience and may even realize that you feel calmer, can come to agreements more quickly, and feel happier overall. And the next tip, I would say, one should reduce stress. So patience comes with difficulty when you have a lot on your plate and a lot on your mind. So when overscheduled or preoccupied with worries, you have diminished capacity to put forth the effort required for patience, obviously. So to remedy this, we have to tell our students to examine the things in their lives that cause stress. We should ask them to find solutions to these problems and encourage them to ask for help when they need it. Further, we should ask them to look at where they spend their time and see what they can cut out to allow more time to focus on things that are important to them. So all this surely will reduce stress. And the next, I would say, we should not do multitasking. It's not meant for all. See, some can really practice. If I know a person over here, say Brother Solomon, he can get into multitasking. Not a problem. I can get into multitasking, and maybe a few of you here present, you can handle that. But most of us, we cannot handle multitasking. So we are more impatient when we judge or when we actually juggle too many things at once. We all do it. We jump from one task to another without finishing the first. So this practice proves ineffective time and time again. Worse, it causes a great deal of frustration because we do not we do not do any one of these things well. By focusing on one thing at a time, we feel calmer and accomplish a great deal more. So we can tell our students that before you go to bed, write down 3 things or 4 things, okay, on a post-it note that you want to do the next day. Make these tasks a priority by tackling them first and resist the urge to get distracted by other things. So research in organizational settings demonstrated that this strategy significantly increased productivity. Next, I would say kind things to yourself and others. Changing your internal dialogue provides the most helpful practice you can do to develop the patience that resides within you. Next, I would say that we need to speak to ourselves and others with more kindness, and we should have the term with us that's called empathy. That you put yourselves in others' shoes and you realize from their point of view. So I can say, I know this is hard. We can tell our students, I know this is hard. I know you're struggling, but I believe in you. Or you can get through this. Now, these kind of words, such type of communication, help students become resilient. So change isn't easy. Quick fixes reside mostly in theory, and lasting change takes time. So we will experience challenges and we may even go backwards at times. Long-term success includes small steps in the direction of your goal. With calm, controlled perseverance and loving kindness, you will achieve whatever you have set out to do. So this is how one can be patient with oneself and others in a changing world. Ma'am, to conclude, everyone there, to conclude, I would like to quote Mr. Ratan Tata. I'm just trying to recall one of his statements where he had said that ups and downs in life are very important to keep us going, because a straight line, even in an ECG, means we are not alive. Hence, building hope and resilience matters in this changing world of ours. Thank you, everyone.
Well said, sir. Thank you so much for these points. And I'm sure that these points, how to be patient, are going to be very, very helpful to all our viewers. And we don't have much time left, but I would still request Babita ma'am to just summarize the entire topic in one sentence, maybe. Ma'am.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. I would like to give one, at the end, I would like to summarize the session by saying that you need to be more resilient, you need to be more considerate about your need. It is a quote by Helen Keller: although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming of it. That means even if you have a lot of suffering, you have to overcome out of it, and you have to be more resilient, be more hopeful, and stay happy. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much to all the panelists for giving us your time and for being a part of this series, Paricharcha. Thank you. And today we learned a lot about how to build hope and resilience in the children. We even learned that how can one be patient with oneself and even with others. What exactly is emotional resilience, and how can the entire school community, how can parents contribute in enhancing the resilience in the children. Thank you so much for being with us, respected sir and ma'am. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this entire program, and I'm sure you are liking it. That if you want to watch this program again, then please watch it on our YouTube channel, which is NCERT Official. It's going to be uploaded over there and stay forever. So This program I'm going to wrap up here, but next Friday we'll come back again with another topic, with another discussion. So please be a part of it and keep your questions ready. Till then, take great care of yourself. I'll take a leave of you. Tanvi Kurana signing off. Namaskar.